What's up guys, TechGCG here. Today we're back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So I thought it could be fun to actually make a voiceover video this time instead of just putting music on. Even though that the music is it's more fun to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel content when you're also listening to the Master Duel music. But yeah, in this video we're doing the tutorials. Here we're going to synchro summon, and while we're doing this video, I'm also going to talk about some announcements and stuff like that. So yeah. The first point on the video is that I'm going to talk about something that I'm going to in the end of this month, which is happening on the 25th of May, which is National Championships. I have already talked a little bit about it in other videos. But yeah. I don't know about. I know what deck I'm taking with me, but it's more like what cards I should play. I did ask some of my friends, and they said, you should definitely play these cards because of certain archetypes that I could potentially meet at the event. And yeah, let us also take a look at the, what's it called? The archetypes that I expect to see at the event. First of all, 10 Drang, and for the love of God, I hope that I'm not going against 10 Drang every single round, because then I'm just going to drop. I'm just gonna drop if I'm going against 10 Drang every single round. I wouldn't mind to play at least against one 10 player, because then I can get more experienced with playing against the deck, because I know that once they are able to get their hands on specific cards and specific monsters, that is where you that is basically where you just automatically lose, because you can go in for their OTK or FTK, first turn kill, if they are going second, which they want a lot. But overall, even if they are going first, they will still end on a pretty decent board. They can end on Heavenly Spears, and that is GG, I guess, to get their resources. And that is something that I know could potentially be troublesome. One of the other decks that I expect to see a little bit of is also Purely. Also for that reason, because all of the more expensive Purely cards will get reprinted inside of Rarity Collection 2. So yeah, that is another type that I also expect to see a couple of players to be doing, especially after that Purely Delicious Memory is at 2 now in the TCG. So yeah, that is one of the decks that I expect to see as well. And also certain decks like Branded and Voiceless Voice is also decks that I expect to see. And I will say the biggest, I think the biggest experience that I had with Voiceless Voice is that they're using the Branded engine inside, meaning that they have potential to begin with their Voiceless Voice combo, getting cards like Low to the graveyard, and then making Skull Guardian. And then after that, let us say that if you destroy the board with cards like the Bureau or stuff like that, if you destroy the board with that, they can just go into the Branded engine. I don't know. Or maybe they will just continue to have their voice combo in touch. Um, one of the one of the decks that I wouldn't mind to see is or not one of the decks, but decks that I wouldn't mind to see is really would be really rogue strategies. Like, as an example, let us say, as an example, Dark World. But again, it depends a lot on how the format is. The format is, and right now I will say Dark World is a format where you is in a format where you basically lose to one hand trap, which is sad and all, but that is what happens. Dark World searches a lot, and if they get thrown Lockbird the first, after the first search, and it's GG from their side, then either they scoop or else they will just set one card and pass, and then you can make full combo because they don't have room for other hand traps other than Lava Golden, basically. And maybe floodgates like Skill Drain. I don't know, one guy that I know, he will take a zombie based strategy with him, which is really cool. I really love the fact about that he doesn't give a F about the format, because he can still do really good. He can still play decent with the deck. So yeah. Moving on to another subject that I wanted to talk about in this video as well is that I have a lot of different things going on in the YouTube life currently, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel content like this video, but I'm also working alongside with that on Sax Collection. And yeah, just pack openings, random pack openings. Which means that it has been a long time since I last made a deck profile. I will be saying this, after the Nats in the end of this month, I will be focusing on making a little bit more deck profiles. I will be focusing on making more deck profiles, so you guys out there wants to see that type of content again, of course. Because that is a big thing on being a YouTuber. That is, yeah, basically the fact about opening up cards, making deck profiles. One of the biggest things that a lot of people appreciate is that when you are uploading deck profiles and actually allow yourself to showcase, okay, I'm playing this deck, what you guys think. And I have experienced that a lot of people are saying, what I have experienced actually, is that they are talking about certain cards, like, why are you playing this card if you're not playing that card? I know it happened at a time where I did upload a branded deck profile once. And then a guy commented, why are you playing... Yeah, I was playing Albion, and the only branded cards that I was playing to send out was branded... what's it called? Now I can't remember the name. Yeah, one of the branded quick play spell. And I wasn't playing Retribution. Meaning that, yeah, Albion only had one target in general. And I was like, I'm not gonna comment on that, because then the guy will definitely say something but it's much better to play the other card. But I just feel like that. The funny part is about making deck profiles, and that is also something that I'm going to be stepping up in the game a little bit, is the fact about that people expect you to be right on the meta. Like, people expect you to... The deck profiles, of course, it does make sense that you want the best quality in the deck profiles to be good at Yu-Gi-Oh! But then again, I will say that having the experience of playing Yu-Gi-Oh is much more valuable instead of just thinking, okay, I want to play purely. All right, right now they are playing a ton of hand traps in purely. I will be doing that as well. And yeah, it is really good to play a lot of hand traps in certain decks, but still, then again, it is also good to um make the what's it called? Make the now I can't remember the sentence that I just wanted to say. But again, it depends a lot on what deck you want to play. If you want to play branded, fine. You want to play a certain branded strategy that fits the format. Currently, the best form for branded is Chimera branded because of the new Nightmare Princess and the original Sinful Sin. Because they go really well in branded. I have experienced that. I destroyed that deck, but it depends a lot on what format you are going against and what deck you are playing against as well. Like, as an example, for me personally, I just don't want to upload a ton of Blackwing deck profiles because Blackwing is my favorite deck of all time. And I'm playing that, and every time I go to locals or playing with my friends, I'm always taking my Blackwing deck with me to experience some strategies. I did play against Tempai Dragon with some friends with Blackwings, and they just that deck just destroyed me because of super polymerization. But that is what has the charm. I can't expect to just go against super poly every time. I can't expect to be hit with super poly. And that's why I also had the thoughts, maybe I should play super polymerization myself. But then again, I'll rather want to play a bunch of more non-engine instead of just playing super poly, because that means that it takes up really much in my extra deck. It takes a lot of things in my extra deck. A big amount of spot in my extra deck. And that is also why I've decided to take Black Wings with me to the National Championship instead of decks like Purely. Of course, Purely is also a deck that I really wanted to take. But the problem with that deck is that I'm not experienced enough, or that is how I feel, at least. I don't feel that I'm experienced enough to play the deck. Of course, I know how the deck operates because I have played it before, but it's more like I haven't played against the newer strategies like Tenpai Dragon or Duel. And yeah, I was just checking how much recording time that we had, how long I have recorded. This video will be shorter, of course, so yeah. But again, it does have the definition of that I want to play a deck to improve my skills with the deck. Not just because that I want to play a deck because everybody else is playing the same deck. I know when Snake Eyes was really high in the format, everybody played yeah, some people were playing cross. I have seen some people playing cross out Destinator. Just to negate an Ash as an example, and then that was awesome too. But that was also a one time thing. And I will also say that playing cards like Lullaby by Obedience is really good when you know that your opponent is playing Snake Eyes, because you can get your Ash so quickly with that card. But moving on to the last thing is that I want to share something with you guys. I want to talk about a specific form for format that I'm playing with friends. And that is a format where there's basically, yeah, we have rules, but we have no rules at the same time. Because When we're playing with 7 cards in our hand. The turn player starts with 8 cards, and every draw phase draws 1 new card. So even though that you start the duel, you will still be able to draw your 8th card, which is really, it's nice. There's no hand size limit, meaning that you can have 15 cards in your hand and still keep all of them. It is rare that happens, because usually we're playing decks that is more old school, so we have a situation for everything. And what I really like to play there is basically I want to play, let us say, 60 card builds. Sometimes I actually go further, and I had, before I started to sleeve my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I was just using them without sleeves. Some of them are more damaged now because, first of all, they're older, but also, second of all, they have experienced to be played. But if you think that should be a video idea that I am going to talk a little bit more about, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss it. And again, consider subscribing, because it's free and you can always change your mind. But right now we're just buying Blackwing cards in Master Duel. We'll see each other next time. Peace.